Gee, Vicarja, Tommy Rash, our Destination Uri, Newtown area news bites. So I'm back this week after a couple of hectic weeks. I was explaining to Cal, we are back to school, all the kids back to school, happily back, happy teachers, happy classroom assistants, happy principals. Trying to keep everybody safe, trying to keep a bit of common sense and a bit of social distancing in schools. So we have that going on. We had a return to more council meetings, so an increase in council meetings in the past couple of weeks, and trying to get everything sorted and trying to look ahead and plan for the coming year. And then we had a return to the GAA, a big return, busy return to club football in Armagh, and we're reaching the pinnacle of that then, where we're going to be going into the inter-county season very shortly. So just going to fly through a few things tonight. There's, as always, there's the good and the bad and the ugly. I suppose we'll start off with the bad and the ugly first. It was on Monday night. We got the bad news, or we got disappointing news through from Pete High of Newtown Menshed. Menshed's down beside the football club in St Michael's, and Pete phoned me to say that he could see a flickering light in the youth club upstairs in the gymnasium. And I said to them, Pete, there should be no electricity in that building. The electricity was knocked off, and it can't be electrical. And he says it looks like candles. And then I told him to go up onto the top of the road and to look down into it, and he says, no, Bar, it looks like a flame. It looks like. So he went back down and investigated, and I called the police out, and the fire brigade was called, and they got it under control. So the perpetrators ran out a fire door and away down Dundalk Street. So that there's two lines of inquiry being pursued by the police: the break-in and entry of a community building and an attempted arson in the community building. So huge frustration in Newtown. This was Monday night. Everybody back to work on Monday. Our minors are playing along with St Pat's and Cullyhanna, and they were in championship action in Carcruppen. And everyone's eyes are on the positive of what's going on in society, and you've got young lads with nothing better to do than to break into the youth club, which at one stage was the pride and joy of Newtown and served as a excellent community facility for the 70s and 80s and 90s. But it's really gone into decline in the last few years, and it's a bit of a health hazard there. So the football club have been very proactive in boarding it up and blocking it up and trying to keep youngsters out. It's predominantly these young Bulgarian Roma community teenagers, and they don't adhere to the social norms that young lads in Newtown would. Like you could say to all the young lads in Newtown here, look, don't go into that building, it's not safe, and they wouldn't go into it. But the police have to keep chasing these young lads out of it. They were at one stage, they were trying to camp in it. They were having parties in it. They were running around it playing catch, and then lit a fire in it the other night. So there's an education and a real body of work to be done around this. And I suppose from the football's point of view now, we have to brick the whole thing up. We even look to get it taken down. It's that much of a health hazard at the minute. So that's been going on, and there's been a good response from the people in Newtown. We've got local businesses checking through their CCTV to see what they can find, and people are genuinely disgusted at the incident. And working with the community association and the Menshed and the other voluntary organisations within the town to try and keep everything sort of nice and tidy and neat. And we don't need this. So just on a similar note, got a message early this morning from an alarmed citizen in Dorsey, an alarmed resident in Dorsey, who had said that they were sort of dismayed to find discarded PPE thrown in the ditches and hedges along the Carcravati Road. I'm heading up that way now, and when we finish, we'll try and get as much of it lifted up as possible. But it's sad to think that people would go to the bother of putting on a mask or putting on gloves if they're going to the shop or if they're going to visit someone or that, and that they then would take so little care as to ball them up and throw them out the window, where an animal could pick that up, a child could pick it up. It'd be a long time before it decomposed. So it's just somebody has to go and lift it again. And I'd certainly make an appeal to everybody. Just if you've got gloves that you're putting on you to keep your hands safe from infection, or you're putting on a temporary mask of that, just to dispose of them properly, to put them in a wee bag and put them in the bin, and to take care of the environment, really. And that's the bad and the ugly out of the way. That's the bad news all out of the way. Start with the bad news, you see, and then you can lighten it up with a bit of good news. So the good news, I suppose, the big news in Newtown and the wider area is at last the beginning of the environmental improvement scheme. So people will have seen, anyone who's gone through Newtown in the past week or so will have seen that there's traffic calming measures, there's traffic lights and that on Armagh Street. They've put in new light posts, lamp posts, the whole way down the left-hand side. So as you're looking at it there, that's the left-hand side that the traffic lights are on. So the whole way down Armagh Street and the whole way up Dundalk Street, all on the one side of the street, they've put up new street lights. They're getting ready they're going to start up at Fairview at the top of Armagh Street, and they're going to put in new footpads, and they're going to put in nice new granite curb stones as well. So we think, it's been a long time planning, and there's a lot of work went into this with the community group and myself, planning for this and planning for improvements to Newtown going back 4 and 5 years. So a lot of excitement as to what this is going to look like whenever it's done. And then obviously from that, you move towards trying to get landlords to paint up their buildings and to brighten up the side of it and the fronts of buildings. And I think that's going to be a fantastic boost. There's a resurfacing job done on the Newtown to Armagh Road, just at the junction of the Katy Road at the start of the week, which had been a long time waiting on. And other good news there yesterday, some of the Ballymire Road that had fallen into disrepair was resurfaced. So there's wee pockets of light in the darkness. If you live on one of these roads, if you live on the Ballymire Road, and there's I wouldn't even call them potholes, there's craters on your road for months, and you're shouting to the cows come home about getting them replaced. It's nice, and it's a relief, and it's a stress reliever for you to see the road resurfacing being carried out. So I'm delighted for that. I put up a post on my Facebook. Anyone who follows my Facebook, you'll see a few done, more to do. So there's a few roads. There's a list as long as your arm of roads around Newtown, Cullyhanna, Dorsey, Silverbridge that could really do with a bit of TLC. And in fairness to Transport NI, they've got a huge area to cover. So it seems like they come out to Newtown and Cullyhanna and Silverbridge and Dorsey for a few days. They patch up as much as they can, and then they go away, and it could be a few weeks before they're back. But people are happy with that. People are patient. We'll try and get through the roads one at a time. That's all going well. So the last thing I wanted to talk about was the GAA season in Armagh, which has reached its climax. This is the biggest weekend of the GAA calendar locally in Armagh football, and it's the senior football championship final. And you can just see from the graphic there, it's Crossmaglen Rangers versus Mahary, and it's in the Athletic Grounds, throw in at 4 p.m. and that's live on Linwood's Armagh TV from 3:15. There's a fantastic show on Sunday, because obviously there's a limit to the number of spectators that can attend that final, and you're bearing in mind that there's going to be a couple of thousand people at home tuning into this. Armagh County Board and Armagh TV team have put a huge effort in to get a couple of personalities to come on board and to speak about the match. We've got a couple of experts who are going to show the paths to the final and that. And just in terms of the senior final, Crossmaglen a couple of weeks ago there dispatched Killeavy, a very gallant Killeavy team who pinned Cross to right to the neck. They nearly took them all the way. They drew level with them with 3 or 4 minutes to go. And Crossmaglen relied on possibly the youngest player in the field, Dara O'Callaghan, to kick 2 fantastic points to send them to the final. So Dara was really the hero of the semi-final. And Muirí then, I'm seeing Niall Murray popping in, Newtown Community Association email, nthcc@hotmail.com. Good man, or .co.uk. Good man, Niall. Keep up the good work. I'll be in regular contact with Niall about all that's good and great about Newtown. So Niall's doing a ball of work there. But the other semi-final then, obviously, with Muirí and Clonerne, and it was another cracker. It went all the way. I think that game went to extra time. I was commentating on it, and could have went either way. And Muirí managed to get their noses in front of that to set up this mouth-watering clash. So it really has the potential. You've got several county men on both sides, and it has the potential to be a real mouth-watering clash. So that's 4 o'clock on Sunday. The following Sunday then, or the following weekend, on the Saturday, is the junior final between Balleek and Forkhill. And both teams will really fancy their chances in that. Balleek beat Newtown last Sunday in the semi-final, and Forkhill beat a very strong Derrynoose team the week before it. So Balleek and Forkhill in the junior final next Saturday will be a cracker. And before it is the one of the minor finals. I think it's the minor grade 3 final. And then on the Sunday is the intermediate championship final. That's Clonagale against St. Paul's. Clonagale beat Katie in the semi-final last week or the week before, and St. Paul's beat Tullysorn. So a Lurgan derby there, where you have a South Armagh derby for the junior, you have a Lurgan derby for the intermediate, and again, a couple of county men, Soupy Campbell with Clonagale and Andy Morton with St. Paul's. So it's very exciting. I mentioned one of the minor finals on the Saturday, another one's on the Sunday. I think that's the Grade 2 final. And the Grade 1 minor final is this Tuesday night. And it's Crossmaglen Rangers against Clonagale. And it's live on Linwood's Armagh TV as well from the Athletic Grounds next Tuesday night. I think that's at 7 p.m. So it's been a busy few weeks in terms of the club championship in Armagh. It's been a huge success. It's been flat out frantic. Every week there's been the first round of junior, the first round of intermediate, the first round of senior, the second round, the quarterfinals of everything, the semi-finals, and now the finals. And big shout out to Linwood's Armagh TV, who are really setting the pace for all the other counties in terms of the broadcasting of their matches. They're broadcasting almost all the matches now from it got till quarter-final stage. There's the captains, David Lavery from Muirí and James Morgan from Cross, and one of them will be lifting the cup on Sunday. So it's a lot. It's been a hectic few weeks, as I say, and the best of luck to everybody involved in the championship finals this weekend. And as I say, nothing beats being there on the big day. But if you can't be there, you can join in on the Linwood's Armagh TV. And that's about it for this week. I just want to see Cahill scrolling down through it. Armagh GEA announced a deal with Domino's Pizza, that if you pre-order your pizza, you can pick it up at half-time from the Athletic Grounds. They'll come out, Domino's Pizza and Armagh will come out and deliver the pizzas and a drink at half-time in the Athletic Grounds. And I think that's an absolutely fantastic initiative. You know, it's Domino's getting in on the act. They can see that there's going to be a few people there, and I really hope that all goes well and they get a good turn out of it and people get nice pizzas out of it. So that's my lot for the week. Another busy week coming up next week, and with the help of God, I'll get back on with Cahill here, and we'll reflect on how the weekend went and how everything's going next week, and where we're at with the council and where we're at with capital projects, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. So, Carja, Barra Ó Muirí, Slán, agus Bannacht.